Battle over the College Football Bowl Championship Series is moving from the gridiron to Capitol Hill today. A Senate panel is looking at whether the system violates antitrust laws. Now, under the current system, nearly half of all college football teams will get a piece of the $500 million television contract with Walt Disney's ESPN. That starts next year. The much larger shares goes to teams from the 6 largest football conferences. So does the bowl system need a new game plan? That's what we're going to be talking about. Matt Fetterman is a sports reporter for the Wall Street Journal. Sonny Houston is the managing director of Kroll's Business Intelligence. So, Matt, why now? Why is this something that we're talking about now?
I think you're seeing the smaller schools get more competitive over the last few years.
And what's in it for them?
What's in it for them is more money. If you get spots in the most prestigious bowls, you have a share of the largest pie in college football.
It seems like an interesting time to address this, though, down in D.C. We have so much going on with the economy, you have health care, and now a hearing on this. What do you think Senator Hatch has invested in this? Why now for him?
Well, the team from his state, the University of Utah, had a terrific season last year, and he wants to make sure it's a fair playing field for everybody.
Those football fans, you know, they get a little crazy. I'm from a football family, so I can say that. Sonny, you know, the Senator Hatch wrote in Sports Illustrated that the BCS system intentionally and explicitly favors certain participants. What kind of an antitrust case does he really have there?
You know, I think he has a pretty decent one, and it is about money, Madam. We're talking about $18 million guaranteed for the BCS schools versus $1.8 million guaranteed for the non-BCS schools. And what they're saying is we are being excluded from this significant revenue because the others have conspired and they've created a monopoly. I always think, does this pass the antitrust smell test? And it really, really does, because you have to balance it. Any court that looks at it is going to say, well, do the anti-competitive effects sort of outweigh the pro-competitive effects? And it's pretty anti-competitive that you don't get guaranteed $18 million. Pro-competitive, don't you want the best teams playing for the championship? And that's really not what's happening here. So if I were conducting that balancing test, I would say anti-competitive effects certainly outweigh the pro-competitive effects.
So, Matt, then what's the alternative to the current system?
Well, you would have a playoff system where probably the top 8 teams would play a series of games leading up to a championship game. Basketball has 64 teams playing in a tournament that leads to a championship game. Football has nothing like that. They have this odd collection of bowl games.
Well, and basketball, the NCAA has been down this antitrust road before. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I think the model is to make the tournament available to the most teams possible. Basketball has 340 teams, 340 teams that can qualify for this tournament. It's one of the most popular sporting events, and people, including the president, want to see football.
Could that work for football as well?
It's difficult. It's a much more compressed time of year. There are academic issues involved. It's December. It's the period when the students have finals. So it would be more difficult, but with that much money involved and people really want to see the best teams playing for the championship, you'd have to think with that much money available, they could figure out a way to divide it up.
Now, Sonny, you said that there is, it looks like, a legitimate complaint here, but there's a difference between something being unfair and something being outrageously illegal, and then there's being a ruling as such. Sure. So what's the difference here?
Well, you know, I think the court of public opinion, certainly it's unfair. I think we can all agree. Why shouldn't the best team be allowed to play the other best team? Does that mean it's illegal? You know, you have to prove a conspiracy to monopolize, and that is a really, really difficult standard. You got to have somebody basically flip and say, yeah, I had this arrangement with this other school that we would, you know, monopolize the field. And I think that's pretty difficult. Court of public opinion, no question, easy. Legal court, not so easy.
Matt, real quick, final thoughts. Is there a conspiracy here?
Sure.
What's your favorite team? You got stakes in a certain team out there?
I'm a sports writer. We don't root.
Very good.
We just root for the story.
Well, I went to Notre Dame.
Okay, put it on the table there. Okay. Well,
Fighting Irish, go Irish.
Appreciate you both there. I'm a Cornhusker fan. Full disclosure, I got my little brother at that school. I had to root for him. Matt and Sonny, thanks for breaking it down for us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up.